Welcome to the ShireFit podcast. We created this podcast to help you achieve your goals. I'm Jack Fletney, the founder of ShireFit, and my aim is to give you the best fitness, business and mindset advice so you can go and smash your goals. Righto, we're live.
Sweet.
Hello guys, welcome to another ShireFit podcast. We're very lucky today because we do have a ShireFit legend in the house, Josh. Josh, how are you doing? You alright?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good.
So Josh has been a big part of ShireFit for about the last 2 or 3 years in terms of being a new member, going through his training experience with us. He's also worked for us over a short amount of time during summer holidays and things, and he's also gone across and visited lots of other boxes as he's got more and more involved with this style of training. And I thought it'd be a fantastic podcast to get Josh on just to talk about his experiences in terms of being brand new to sort of coming into a functional fitness gym or a CrossFit gym, visiting other places, learning about the training, and talk from some of your experiences from it, mate. But to begin with, we're doing a fun fact today, and you just told me what your fun fact is, which is pretty interesting, mate. So go ahead.
I've got kind of like it's like a 2-in-1 fun fact. So when I was younger, I had really small lungs, so I had steroids put into my lungs to make them bigger. Also, I had heart surgery when I was 4 years old to have a metal spring put in my heart. So I'm basically Iron Man on steroids.
And people have been already messaging in since finding this out, saying, why has this not affected your WOD times?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll have to talk to you about it. Or do Murph or something like
that. Mate, wicked. So you've been, in terms of your training stuff and things like that, you've done lots of sports in the past.
Yeah.
How did you initially get into any kind of like physical training or getting keen for it?
I've always been quite a big, as a child, I've always been quite tall and quite big. And I think from a younger age, I think my parents wanted me to do some sort of physical exercise.
Yeah.
And so I tried football when I was younger. That didn't work. I was just too big and heavy.
Too gangly.
Yeah, too gangly, too limby. Yeah. And then I think my mum told me to try rugby, and so my dad took me down to a training session, and then it was tag rugby at that point. I was no good at tag because everyone was much quicker than me. And then I came back for the contact sessions, and I thought, this is it. And then it got from there, really. I played rugby ever since. So yeah.
You still play it now, don't you?
Still play now, for university.
So was it rugby that sort of got you initially into physical training, wanting to get fitter, or was it more of a I just enjoy doing it or wanted to try and see what it was about?
I've always enjoyed doing physical stuff. Like PE was always one of my favourite lessons at school, and rugby, it kind of goes hand in hand with that, because you got your performance on the pitch, and then you have your training, and then your improvements which you can do off the field, which is I kind of do like that kind of way of thinking about it, because you've got the gym where you can make yourself better, and you can show that on the field in your performance, and you can show everyone else that, oh yeah, look at him, he's doing good, and show your teammates.
That's really true. I think a big one that we've always talked about is what we say, like, use your fitness, and it's a hashtag that people use on Instagram all the time. But it's the ability, like, you love the training you do and go in the gym, but make sure you do apply it sometimes. And I suppose you're right, it can be applied to things like sport. It can be applied to things like just going outdoors or go walking or trying things. And I think that's so important, because you can actually suddenly appreciate, and I think the biggest feedback I get from members when they contact is how the training, not about what the training's done in terms of, oh, it got me a new PB or things like that. It's more so it's helped me do this.
Yeah, it's true.
It's helped me be able to go and play with the grandkids. It's been helped me to be able to go and climb this mountain or do the 3 Peaks challenge, or it's given me the confidence to go and enter this. And that I think you're right, that's what it's all about. So training then, it sounds like you got into it very much like I did. What did you do initially then? Was it on your own, giving it a go, or?
So when I was 14, I kind of like opened my arms up to the gym, because everyone else around me was like, oh yeah, let's go to the gym. Because at that point we had a school gym, but it wasn't like one of the amazing places. It was like a barbell weights and a few pull-up bars and a rower. And so at that point we used to go in there on our lunch breaks and just throw down basically, and this deadlift, bench press, and shoulder press was one of the main 3 lifts really at that age. And then occasionally you jump on the cardio equipment. occasionally being the keyword. And then we had quite a good coach at a younger stage, because he built a sled, and we used to pound the weight on, push it up and down the AstroTurf out in the sun. So it was, that was good fun. And then from there, when I went to 15, 16, some CrossFit gyms were opening up, and then one of the boys got interested in it, and then he obviously talked to the head coach there, and she said, yeah, bring the boys down. So we hopped on the school bus, went down to training, and I remember the first session ever.
Where was that? Do you remember what it was called, or where it was? Or
Yeah, it's in Dubai, and what is it? It's Jumeirah Lake Towers.
okay,
I'll find the name of it
yeah,
later. And it's like a Reebok gym, and we had the first workout. It was rower. It was on the rower run. I think handstand push-ups was in it as well. And I've never ever done a handstand in my life. And we were told to try and hold on the wall. So we kicked up on the wall. I remember just falling straight back down, and then just hanging out on the rower and trying to run around this building block in like 30-degree heat, just absolutely just getting destroyed. And that part, I thought, oh well, okay, this is quite cool. And I just started, and it's gone from there really. And then we kind of brought that style of training over into the school gym. So at lunchtime we do a workout there, which could be power cleans or deadlift or on the rower. And then after school we go down to the CrossFit gym, and then we do a workout there as well. And that how it kind of kickstarted really. And then
fantastic.
and then I left Dubai, and I came back to ShireFit, through which my uncle found.
Yeah, of course. And
Yeah.
in terms of you, obviously a big part there is that you lived out in Dubai.
Yeah.
What took you out there? Was it family and?
Yeah. It was family orientated. So, my dad moved out there with a job, and I moved out. I moved out there at the age of 4. So I grew up playing rugby there, and that's where I found the love for rugby. I also found the love for training, and then moved back when I was 16 on my own to go to boarding school.
Okay, awesome.
So, yeah.
And that's when you actually
That's
then
what
come
I
across,
found.
wasn't you?
Yeah.
And come across into ShireFit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose that's your initial bit. And was that the only CrossFit box you ever visited before you come over to ShireFit?
Yes.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to try and sort of talk about as well today was obviously when you first come to ShireFit, because what I love about CrossFit, and I think what I love about like the small boutique niche gyms,
Yeah.
is that they've all got something so different.
That's true.
You walk into every single one, they've got something different about them, whether it be their culture, their layout, their branding, their whole atmosphere, and I think that's what makes it. I think what makes it competitive. I think what makes it really, really good in terms of the way that we're going in the future with these kind of gyms.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what would talk me through your experience of coming to ShireFit, and what you thought was really good, what you thought was actually not very good, and what you sort of compared.
Well, coming to ShireFit was like my first experience of joining to a CrossFit gym, not just going there after school. And so I arrived there. I remember seeing all the flags hanging down from the ceiling and the t-shirts up against the wall. I was like, well, this is quite cool. And then I met yourself, and you introduced me to the class. I was like, okay. And then I was obviously quite nervous, as is, I've never met any of these people before. And there was a workout with I think it was power cleans in it. And then I was doing the workout. I remember you came up to me and changed the technique slightly. And at that point, I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of feel better now. Because I normally used to get quite a bit of lower back pain with it. Like the muscles would get tight.
Yeah.
And then changing the way I lift, that pain went away. So instantly I was hooked to that. Oh well, if he was able to change this to me, how much would he else be able to change? And then I kind of like the vibe and the culture we've got here, because it's such a different style of training in a fun environment rather than a competitive environment.
Yeah.
Where I find people enjoy it more here because everyone's here for the same reason, and that's not to smash a qualifier and go compete at an event. That's people coming here from work, just want to blow out all the steam from work and have a laugh with their mates, maybe have a joke around a little bit in the class, but then when it's time to work, they do put the hard work in, and that shows massively all around the gym, even if that's in the waiting area, in the shop, or it's on the floor, or even if it's outside. Say if we do like a team one and have a barbecue afterwards, that whole experience there with the members is something else you can't really find in other CrossFit gyms. And that's like how I fell in love with ShireFit, really.
That's amazing. That's really nice to hear as well, because I think that we spoke about it before anyway, but that is like, for me, that's my goal with
Yeah,
ShireFit. I wanted to try and make a gym that wasn't intimidating, and I wanted to make a gym where actually, the nature of CrossFit is all about competition in
yeah,
sense of, competing against yourself or others.
yeah.
Um, but I did want to try and make it actually move it more towards actually you're here
Enjoying
to
it.
get better, but you need to enjoy the
Yeah,
process. And I think just by enjoying it makes it such a nice atmosphere
yeah,
to
it
come and
does.
train in, doesn't
Yeah,
it? But yeah, I remember that first session when we come in and we had power cleans, and yeah, you naturally weren't hinging, so using
yeah,
your back and things. So it's quite easy things to fix for you that you started to
yeah,
learn. And well, what you've always wanted to do is always wanted to learn, which is like a
yeah,
perfect student, someone that wants to
yeah.
learn and listen and apply.
That's good.
It's fantastic. So yeah, you obviously started training at ShireFit, and
Yep.
it was like here and there, wasn't it? Because of the
Yeah,
way of your schooling and the way you're away quite a bit.
yeah. So at the moment, it's kind of the same thing at the moment, really. But I would go away for school in the schooling months. So, but then I always have the summer and Christmas off, and then whenever I was here, like around the area, I would always make sure I'm booked in for sessions either every day or every other day. So in the summer, I do a block of pure CrossFit to get my fitness up, and then hopefully that kind of overlaps into my schooling or university months away, and just trying to keep going like that in that way in that sense. So I would train in the summer, go to university for a few months or school, come back for Christmas break, and then train again, and then just trying to hold on for that big month, but that big period
Yeah,
from
and
Christmas
I
to
suppose this
summer.
moves on to a nice bit because obviously Josh is famous for when he does come in, he plays catch up.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he just
stupidly.
yeah. So I always love the first day that Josh returns back to ShireFit to come and train, because he comes in with these plans of
Yeah,
doing 3 or 4 hero ones back to back,
yeah,
playing catch up. I think you've been educated, you've learned a lot more as you've started to do it more. But
yeah.
I think the best story for me was I remember coming in. I literally just turned up one afternoon over to ShireFit Corby,
It was
and
not long after it opened.
yeah,
It
it
was not
was.
long
Yeah,
after.
it
Yeah,
was. And I remember he sat in reception, and he'd cut his hands, and his hands were bleeding. He was taping them up. I was like, Josh, what have you done? He goes, I've just done Murph. And I was like, mate, that's a brutal workout. I said, oh, you just go straight
yeah,
back into it. He's like, yeah. And I was like, why are you taping your hands up now? And he's like, I want to go in there and go and do another one in a minute. And I
yeah,
was like, what the hell? But no,
yeah,
I think you can't, at the same time, having that kind of enthusiasm for it is exactly what got me into doing it, got me trying to get better and trying to
yep,
compete, and eventually actually got us to the point of wanting to open a gym as well.
yep.
So in terms of your training experience, you've then obviously you have gone to different boxes, haven't you? As
Yes.
you've moved around.
Yeah.
What I would love to hear about is you're more than welcome to go and give those boxes shout outs, and we can tag them as well. But just talk about some of the amazing things they've done.
Yeah. Okay.
Also talk about like some of the things that you thought could be better, because I know we have quite a lot of gym owners that listen,
Yeah.
and often they'll listen to things that I've said, but actually hearing it from a member's perspective is really, really
Okay.
important. Yeah, just give us a little bit of a background on some of the gyms you've been to.
So I've been lucky enough to travel quite a bit. So I've experienced quite a few boxes really. One of the main ones that does stand out for me is the one over in Bali, which is in Indonesia.
Yep.
That one's called CrossFit Wanderlust, and that's like quite a cool gym because it's tucked away, but once you find it, it's massive, and they've opened up to a complete huge floor plan, and quite a few of the famous games athletes go there. And it's not like a gym for people who are permanently there, because Bali is quite like a traveling type of country, so people come and people go, and so that the gym there, they offer like week memberships or a month memberships or 3 month period. So it just depends when people actually come there. So it's like, and they have like not really a shop, more like a cafe on the side of it as well. And so that helps people with like their food stuff, and it's always CrossFit related CrossFit related food. So you go there, do a class and train, and you come out and you have your like post workout meal, or even if you wanted to come down for like a coffee or snack or something
Yeah.
like that, and go down there. And it's not like they have all the top notch equipment. It's a gym where people can just drop in and go, which I kind of like that style. But it just depends on what type of area you're in. Like for example, going back to what I said about Bali, it's quite like a travelling place. So people
Yeah.
will come in who do CrossFit or do some sort of weightlifting or gymnastics. So that they have that facility to train there, and then they'll just leave because they're onto a different part of their life, or they're
Yeah.
traveling somewhere else. So that's one box I've been to, which is quite cool.
And what was the? I suppose just quickly. I think by the sounds of it, they've nailed exactly what their brand is about,
Yeah,
and their demographic.
yeah.
What is their culture like in terms of when when you go in, and
Um,
how does it work, and what do you think of it?
it's quite cool how it works because all the coaches there are English,
Okay.
and then the owner is American, and so when you arrive there, they know what type of people they're going to get. They're going to get the novice people who have just started CrossFit and want to continue their training, or you got like a higher end people who are on holiday but still want to train. Excuse me. And so they're really good at adapting to that, and their whole mentality over there is work hard and then it'll pay off. So that's one thing I'd take away from that gym and put it into like another gym. Say if I was to make my own, if I was to make my own gym, I'd take a little bit of aspects from each gym I've been to and put it into this one.
Yeah.
And then one of the other ones I've been to is in Dubai, which isn't the one I started at. It's another one called CrossFit Gold Box. And this gym, there's two. There's one in Business Bay and there's one in Al Quoz. And it's really quite cool how they set out to be, because they have different classes. So you have your normal class, you have your RX class, which I'll go on to, and you've got your hero world class and you've got your team world class. And the way they plan it out is it works really well, because over in Dubai, as we know, it's a Middle Eastern country, and some women may not want to train with other men because it's their culture over there. So they have different classes, so like a ladies class, a ladies barbell class, which is their own. So the gym completely closes, and then like only ladies are in for that day, or something, or like a specific time. So that's really, again, adapting to the environment they're in and the culture surrounding them, which which is quite a decent thing for them to do. And like obviously each CrossFit gym has their specific own equipment. So some may have ropes, some may not have ropes, some may have the top of the notch equipment, some may not have top of the notch equipment. But each gym I've been to, they've really nailed it on the head with what type of equipment they need and what type of equipment they don't need. For example, in Dubai, it's very maybe I don't want to say it's very well, it is quite an aesthetically pleasing place to go. So you'll see with the people there, they train heavily in bodybuilding and strongmen. So for example, the gym there, they have the facility to do a bodybuilding session, and they also have the strongman equipment. So they've got Atlas stones, they've got sleds, they've got big like elephant bars. They've also got what's those things called you put on your shoulder and walk with them?
Yoke.
Yes, yeah, they got a few yokes as well. They got some tires and all the strongman equipment there. So that's cool as well. And then one of the other boxes I've been to, well, I've been to quite a few around the UK, but one of them I've been to most recently is CrossFit Nidius over in Gloucester.
Oh yes, yep.
There's and
Our friends Anita,
Anita coach there with her husband. It's a really good gym, and I haven't been for a while, but from their social media, they're doing very well. So
Yeah.
that's good, really.
Oh,
That's like the
amazing.
top three I've been to, really.
Have you been to every box in the UK? Have you?
Well, ShireFit I've been to. Been to one up north. I can't remember the name.
Okay.
Of it, and then that's about it, really.
I think one thing you said there is really really key. I think something I've definitely learned is
Yeah.
nailing down on. This is probably for gym owners, or if you're looking to open a gym soon, is I probably made the mistake in the past of trying to do too much at once.
Yeah, you got
in terms of
slow
offering
pace.
everything, but
Yeah.
you need to have your service that your brand delivers,
Yeah.
and that might, like you said there, be the style of training.
Yeah.
And it might be the layout, or it might be whatever you do, but you've got to have the way you do it, and you can't spend too much time trying to do other
Yeah.
things for everybody. You've got to stick exactly to what your brand's about. I suppose that's
Yeah.
for any business as well. You've got
Yes.
to do what you do best and stick to it, and obviously then you can start to evolve with that as the business starts to grow. But
Yeah.
I've made a mistake definitely of, like you said about class types there, trying to have all the bits of kit and trying to get everything where actually it's probably not the
It's
optimal
not that,
way of
yeah.
being. Yeah. Okay, what about in terms of experiences when coming to CrossFit gyms? Was there anything where you've been negative? Because I know obviously there's a lot of chat about one thing with CrossFit gyms is very much like myself when we first set up. I opened the gym with no business acumen, no
Yeah.
idea of what I was going to do, no idea of how to look after customers or anything like that. But what I did enjoy doing was being on the coach floor, and that's a lot. I think that's a massive thing for a lot of gym owners. Is
Yeah.
anything in your head that springs to mind? I'll give you one as an example. When I first started into CrossFit,
Okay.
was I would contact quite a lot of CrossFit boxes, and I would get
Yeah.
nothing in return.
Yeah.
So I remember as an example, I was visiting down in the southwest, and I emailed and rang I think 5 different boxes, and I
Yeah.
didn't get one response from any of them.
Yeah.
And that was a big one for me initially, and I think hopefully, and I definitely noticed a bit of a trend in that changing. But is there
Yeah.
anything in your head that sort of springs to mind?
Um, Going off what you said, I think it's important for other coaches and the boxes to talk to each other, because say if one box is struggling in a certain area, because every coach loves to talk and loves to show their members how to do a specific movement on the gym floor.
Mm.
If you come away from that and you strip it down to the right beginning, it really starts out when the members first see it online about what your gym's about. And also, if you take the next step from there, it's them arriving at the gym. So that's before all that's before they even step foot onto the gym floor. You have to make sure they're welcome. You have to make sure they know what type of training they're going to be doing, and you also have to make sure what kind of experience they're going to get with it. Because say if I Google CrossFit gyms in Newcastle, somewhere like that, and I don't know any CrossFit gyms in Newcastle, so I don't want to annoy anyone up there. And so if I saw one saying, "Oh, we're open 6 to 9, one class is at 7:15," and then I say, "Oh, cool, a booking to 7:15 class," I'll be kind of lost because I have no idea what the class is about. I don't know what kind of culture they're in. All I know is I booked in for some sort of class or some
Yeah.
sort of physical exercise at this gym, and then I'll just turn up, and then say if I didn't get greeted, or say if I walked in and the coach wasn't there at reception, or someone who wasn't working there at reception, I'll just walk into a group of people I've never met before in my life. I'm gonna feel quite intimidated by that. Also, I think that's really key for new CrossFit boxes, and CrossFit boxes at the moment. You have to really empathise on new members, because as soon as you make sure they feel welcome, I can damn sure they're not going to leave.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's one thing you really need to look at in the bigger picture, because you're all well and good if you're in four walls on on the floor teaching them how to do a movement, but you're never going to get them back in if they don't feel welcome, and if you don't understand what the type of culture or
Oh, that's so true, mate. That's so true. One thing we brought in quite quickly and brought staff in was like the 13-second rule, which is from the
yeah
moment they walk through the door,
yeah
they should be welcomed and and there should be some kind of communication
yeah
within the first 13 seconds. They should
yeah
not be stood feeling awkward. And you're right. I think one thing you said at the start there was actually the message they portray about their brand.
yeah
So whether it be website, social media,
yeah
what are they actually showing those people? Because I think maybe one of the mistakes initially, and I'll put hands up and say I was probably a bit like this as well, was that we looked at CrossFit as being good because it makes you a beast.
yeah
But
yeah
actually,
I'm the same.
people
Yeah,
outside of the bubble aren't interested in that. That's intimidating to them.
that's true.
And the biggest audience we have, like that, those beasts that are going to be interested in it, are the
Yeah
0.001% of
yeah
people in our population.
yeah
The other 99 odd percent are people, normal people every day that
yeah
want to come in and train. But what I do love actually is I see a massive change in that trend with
yeah
with CrossFit and functional. I suppose the next bit then in your journey
yeah
is over at ShireFit Corby. We got to a point where we needed to have someone come and help us out a little bit
okay
because we were slightly understaffed,
yeah
and the gym was starting to get busier, and we had like a really cool reception that we couldn't man all the time. So we asked the barista man, Mr.
yeah
Josh, to come in, and obviously you came in part time
yep
and come and helped us out whilst you were home, back from Dubai or from university, to come and help us over the summer. And I suppose I think actually when you came in, we were very much at the early stages of us how we were going to be training people coming into the business.
yep
And I think we're moving forward to a nice point now where how we develop that.
okay
Um, in terms of obviously bringing you in, what was your experience in terms of just like a brief overview, really, of like
Yeah,
your initial introduction into working with us and what you did,
yeah.
whether that be your training and all that kind of stuff, and then getting involved with actually working with us on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. So transferring over from a member to a staff member, it's quite cool kind of change because you, as a member, you come and train for a block hour, and that's it. So you come in, warm up, strength, WOD, coffee, or a shake, and then leave. Whereas a staff member, you come in either train before, so then you get talking to the members, and then you shower, and then you put your stuff on, your work clothes on, and you do the station you're at, and then from there you see a massive insight of behind the scenes which you really don't see as a member. So like how all the system flows and how each member brings a different kind of vibe and how each member can change an atmosphere in a really good way. So you have one class and you have another class, and they may do the same WOD and same movements, but the whole vibe of the class may be completely polar opposites, and that's quite cool because you don't see it as a member. Because if you're only situated to one class, then you don't see that you don't see the change in atmosphere really, and it's really quite cool because when you work behind like the reception, one of the main things you want to do is get and keep that social vibe going, keep everyone talking, get everyone excited, lifts people's moods up so they perform well when they're in the gym, and also when they finish the workout, they're going to feel tired. So you have to make sure you support them and get them back up and going. Maybe give them a coffee or tea or a protein shake.
Yeah.
And then and then send them on their way. Really.
Awesome. Yeah, you're right. I think what you said there was key for us. Is like that reception role that that you've
Yeah.
been getting involved with is actually really really important for us. We
Yeah.
always say it's actually the most important role we have in the gym in our locations, because they're the first person that welcomes someone they walk in and the last person to say goodbye when they go as well. And you're the one that will probably be instilling that last thought pattern of what about that last hour,
Yeah.
hour and a half was all about.
And that crosses over quite well with other gyms where I've been to in the past, where they don't have that social area. It's like one big open area, and you walk in, you see all the gym equipment, and there's like a till behind a desk. At that point, you put your card over, pay however much the session is, and you can stand around just chatting. Whereas here, and possibly other gyms as well, but ShireFit do that quite well, is the waiting area is separate. It's not like I hate the name waiting area, because I think of waiting area and you think plastic chairs or metal chairs in the corner with like all this like, crap coffee or all this like or like a water machine in the corner. Where here everything's laid out properly. You have places to store your bags. You've got nice wooden benches which have been put in professionally. You've got professional coffee made by the roastery. You also got Nocco. You got all the different protein shakes as well, and also you have a shop as well, and the showering facilities, and that's mainly and that portion of it crosses over into that question quite well.
Yeah, I agree. So the whole idea of that is all about the flow of a member.
Yeah,
so
just
we have
keep
like
that
a member
flow going.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the member walks in, and that in essence it is a waiting area, but that area waiting area for us is actually just to start to build engagement.
It's more like a social area. Yeah.
So we treat the waiting area a bit like, for instance, and we've said, I'm not sure if it's on this podcast before, but it's one of our sort of member pathways.
Yeah.
It's a bit like going to a nightclub, and as a uni student, you've definitely been to a few of them.
A
Josh.
few, yeah.
And, you know, when you go and queue up to go into a nightclub, there's that sort of like waiting awkwardness.
Yeah, that massive line.
You know, one of the things that we wanted to do, that is very much like you waiting to come in to go and do a class. The whole idea of the receptionist and the coach job role there is to get rid of that awkwardness by adding some communication and beginning to ease people's tensions. Because
to relax a little bit.
You know, naturally before you go into a nightclub, you do sometimes feel a little bit nervous before you're about to go in and the music's going and you're about to go through the bouncers and walk in. That's just like walking into a big gym to go and do a class that you know you're going to work hard or what you're going to do. And then the process on from that are all relevant to that story as well. So you're right. I suppose What was your experience? Because you are famous for having the best nose at ShireFit after the roastery training.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
That's
one of
quite
the
a funny
things we
story.
have, like we've built little different principles in relevance to how we run day to day. Like you said there, you see
Yeah,
behind the scenes, whether it be the way we do our online processes, the way we welcome new members, the way we help
yeah,
current members, and the whole journey they go on, and your role within that.
yep,
And part of that is obviously other specialist little bit of training as well.
yeah. Uh, I'll go back to the nose thing. To start off with. With the roastery, when you start to do your barista training, they have all these little sense bottles, and there's at least like 30 to 50 of these different sense bottles, and you get given like a tick sheet, and you have to smell like, I think 10 of them, and it could be in any order, anything, and you will smell these senses, and then you tick what sense you think it was, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can smell that one. Okay, yeah, I kept ticking all these boxes. I thought, okay, yeah, I probably got these all wrong, and so the man behind who was delivering the course, he was like, right, we'll do the answers, and it was with Sarah, Max, I think Jake was there as well, and he was saying all the answers. And I was like, yeah, that's right, yeah, that's right, yeah, that's right, and so these three answers I got right, which went to 4, went to 5, went to 6, and then it got to 10. I was like, oh my God, I've got 100% on this. I don't know how I've
Yes,
done that,
Josh.
and I think the record's unbeaten now. So
Yeah, no one's beaten it
that's
yet,
quite
mate.
cool.
Yes, yeah. So I think you're quite pretty famous around the coffee industry now, John.
I don't know about that
Um,
one.
but yeah, so obviously there's lots of different training
Yeah,
that we try and provide for you guys
yeah,
to get involved in things. But I think actually most of the training that we do is all in house and through
yes,
experience as well, right?
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, obviously we'll continue to look to get you involved with everything we do at ShireFit
Okay,
as we continue, as you're back as well.
thank you.
As I suppose final little bit,
Yeah,
as a new member, what
okay,
would be your like top tips for someone? So someone maybe about to get involved or just starting their CrossFit journey.
okay,
What would be from your experience, obviously being involved in lots of different CrossFit
yeah.
gyms?
Make sure you nail your technique. The weight will come with it. Just to really concentrate on like a barbell movement, or even simple as how to squat properly, or even how to do a burpee properly. Because as soon as you nail that efficiency in a movement pattern, then the weight will start to come a lot easier, and you'll find your PBs will start increasing at a faster rate. And so, say if you start even with a PVC pipe, and then if you do a week's worth of PVC pipe work, and then you go, okay, I'll try a barbell now, and you'll obviously see a barbell is 20 kilos heavier than a PVC pipe, and then from there you'll experience to put some more weight on, and then that will come in even if a week or 2 weeks or even a month. But you always start off with big PBs because your body is adapting to it, and then you'll start to slow down them with the PBs. But then what people don't realize is they might have developed a
Poor
a
technique.
poor technique or bad habit,
Yeah.
and that's where if you really do train your technique at the start, that probably won't happen. But if it does happen, that's where you strip back and think, right, let's start beginning. Because myself and probably yourself as well, you find you pick up bad habits along the way, and just going back to like, a new member, like putting yourself in that position, is a lot better than trying to push through it and pushing through
Then
bad
recorrect
technique.
it later on.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. I had loads of bad habits. I've still got loads now
yeah.
as well.
We're
But
not
yeah,
perfect.
it's really easy to because of the competitive nature of
Yeah,
CrossFit and trying to
yeah,
get really really good quickly that you can
yeah,
sometimes sacrifice. And I think obviously in terms I think so many gyms are doing it so well now in terms of
yeah,
teaching technique. It's not like it used to be in the common
yeah,
thought pattern of what it is, but because of the vast array of movements and the intensity in which you do them, it's
yeah.
so easy to make
Get
small
lost.
little errors.
Yes, that's true.
And I say a lot of the time, those small errors
Add up.
multiplied when you
Yeah,
do that rep loads of times or
that's
when you
true.
repeat that training style loads of times. So you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
I think the best member we have is the new members that come in and want to learn and really get that
yeah.
right
You're open.
first.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're right. Technique and
yeah.
patience.
I think one more with that would be social, and that doesn't mean come in all trying to be loud and trying to talk to everybody. That's come in to say, oh hi, I'm this person, my name's this, or how are you? Oh, I work here. I've lived in the area for so many years or months or weeks or whatever, and just like get to know people. Because once you get to know people, you'll see these people every day for probably the rest of your life or however often you train at the gym.
Yeah.
And if you get a good rep with them and begin to talk to them and treat them with respect, they'll treat you with respect back, and that will show even in the team what to do. You find, oh yeah, you're right, so and so. I met this guy last week on a Monday morning, 6 a.m. And you might see him at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. He's like, oh yeah, John, can I pair with you to do team WOD? And from that point on, you always know someone, and then they'll probably introduce you to someone else, and that kind of takes a spiral. And then obviously going to socials, then you'll talk to people from other classes, from other times of classes, and that's one of the main things with team WOD, brings everybody together.
Yeah.
So there's no separation in different classes.
That sounds bang on. I think you're right. Getting involved,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose it's sometimes not getting involved in the sense, like you said there, trying to be the biggest personality, but it's getting to know people. I suppose also knowing that one of the things we try and really dial in is that, like, doesn't matter who you are, how good you are, what you do, anything like that. Everyone comes in, they're the same on the same level, and everyone's there just to help each other out. And I suppose knowing that, I know that most gyms are like that as well.
Yeah,
so go in there with confidence, knowing that people will be friendly, they're going to be there to help you out. Man, that's fantastic. Pretty good overview there, talking about obviously some crazy stuff like your heart operation.
Yeah,
and,
Iron Man.
And how you got into sort of training and CrossFit. It's always an interesting story. Everyone's got a different way or reason they got involved with it. And then also talking about other little gyms, which I think is really beneficial for gym owners or business owners.
Yes.
But mate, thank you very much for jumping on.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have you on in the future where you can probably talk to us a little bit more in depth about some of the things you do at university at the minute as well.
Yeah, I'd be interested for that one. That'd be
Fantastic,
good.
mate.
Thank
Speak
you
to you
very much. Bye bye.